Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thank You Bro podcast. I have done it. I've been successful. I have brought back Ryan. He has finally agreed to come back, and it is glorious. Ryan, say hello.
You know when a player holds out in training camp because he wants a new deal or restructuring of his contract or whatever the case may be. Maybe he doesn't like the head coach. Maybe he doesn't like the star player, the guy who thinks it's his team, but it's really the other guy's team. Similar situation here, but you know what? We worked through our differences. I'm back. I'm here to stay. We are recording every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And starting next week, we're going to start fielding some audience questions. So we have a lot of exciting stuff on the horizon. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be here with my buddy Will. And let's get this thing going.
Fielding some audience questions. This is new. I did not sign off on this, but I kind of like it. What? Go ahead and explain that one real quick.
Well, I could tell you what I want it to look like, but I can tell you what it's actually going to look like.
All right. Well,
I'd love to get.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'd love to get some audience, some questions. Then maybe they send it in to us. Maybe at one point they call into the show. In all likelihood, it's just going to be us answering Evan and Aiden's questions, to be honest with you. And I don't know if I'm up for that. So I guess we'll just see what happens. But off the cuff, inspired, it was revealed to me. And so I thought, let's go for it.
All right. I like it. All right. So let's get into today's show, September 19th. But this actually will be uploaded September 20th, Wednesday. So happy Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a good time out there. It is Wednesday, so probably not. College football was okay this week. It was all right. Really not too much to look at in terms of like great games. We had, of course, the Colorado State game was a classic. We talk about that in a minute. What I really want to talk about, because the top teams struggled this weekend. Am I wrong?
No, you are not. I think all of the top four teams did not have impressive showings. Everybody won, but not really in the way that we expected them to.
Yeah, and I mean, Michigan probably with the best win at 31-6, and I'm thinking top five teams should be at least putting up 40 plus on little cupcake teams. Florida State played poorly, almost lost. They're the only team in the top four where it was like, yikes, you probably should bump them down. Georgia, is South Carolina really that good? Or am I missing something here?
Well, you are missing something with Georgia, and that's the fact that they have isn't he a true freshman? They have a true freshman starting at quarterback. I mean, that Carson defense Beck is that whole team. They always have their offensive weapons, but I think Georgia will be fine. I don't think they're going to win the championship this year by a long shot, but I think once Carson Beck settles in, they'll be okay. But for now, I would not be surprised if they lost a game or two. I don't know. I just never bought into Beamer ball. I just never, Spencer Rattler is, we know what he can do, and we definitely know what he can't do, especially against Texas. But I don't know. Overall, I think it's more so Georgia growing pains than South Carolina being a player.
All right, that's a fair take. I also want to talk a little bit about Texas. Had us worried. Was that their trap game, or was their trap game? Is their trap game next week against Baylor?
Well, I talked to you about this a little bit earlier today. I remember that, but I don't know that either of them are necessarily trap games. I'd be more willing to call the Wyoming game a trap game than the Baylor game because of two reasons. The first reason is Alabama hangover is a real thing. And the second half was a lot better than the first half. Of course, we know Texas is a second half team to begin with, but especially for Quinn Ewers was hung over. I'll tell you that much. But also, Wyoming is no slouch. Wyoming's not a bad team.
They did beat Texas Tech. They almost beat Texas State, right? I think they had them, or I might be wrong on that. I can actually have it right here. No, they played Portland State. My bad. I don't know why I thought Texas State. Texas State on my mind. Texas State's back. They look good. That's besides the point. We're not talking about mid majors right now. I think we're okay with that one. I mean, shoot, we had a lot of just really bad football. Ohio State honestly looked like the best team this last weekend, and I feel like someone was talking about it today. I read on social media where Ohio State is just, if they don't win by 50, it's kind of like a loss. Their fans think that way. The media thinks that way. Where does Ohio State stand in the top five ranking? Are they in? Are they still at 6? Where do you have them?
In my top 5 ranking?
Yeah, let me.
I have them.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, Ohio State, I have them at 5 right now, which is up from last week. Because, again, the same thing with Georgia. I have questions about their quarterback. And that's the main thing for me. I feel like Georgia and Ohio State are a quarterback away from being the clear-cut 1 and 2.
Okay. I'm just making so you still have Georgia in your top 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were hinting at what you did last week with your very interesting rankings. Last week was definitely different. Had Florida State at 1, Michigan 2, Texas 3, Georgia 4. Where do you kind of egg in your face? Florida State's not a number 1 team. But where does your top 5 stand now?
Well, here's how my top 5 shakes out right now. I will acknowledge my mistakes, right? I'm all about being transparent, owning up to it when I mess up or I say something stupid. And Florida State is not the number 1 team in the nation.
There we go. I just needed to hear it personally.
But they are the number 4 team in the nation.
And that's where the AP has them. And I think that's fine because, you play bad games, but good teams still win bad games. Texas won, Georgia won. I mean, those are all bad games, but the better team wins. And so I don't think you should punish them too much.
No, you shouldn't. And you also need to, and I know that the voters historically are very bad about this, factoring in external factors. Like, it was Boston College's red bandana game. They're extremely motivated, right? And then, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Jordan Travis was hurt. He was playing.
He was playing hurt.
That
yeah,
game.
You're right.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think those 2 factors play in. You're away against their game of the year. It's like that. Let's be honest. Boston College is not a good team this year, which sucks. But they're not a good team this year. Florida State's the best team in the ACC. This is their Super Bowl. They're highly motivated. It's their red bandana game. It's at home. I mean, I feel like if this was the game that they were going to knock off Florida State, this would be the game.
Yeah, I feel like you're spot on there. And I think the college football playoff poll does a whole lot better at factoring external factors than the AP does. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the AP uses an algorithm anyways, right? Pretty much. Or they have voters, but they use an algorithm. They read the algorithm, kind of like what the old rankings were back in like the 2010 days. Yeah. So anyways, rough week for those guys, but I have a question. So out of those teams we just talked about, who looked the worst? I know Florida State played a really bad game, but you say with external factors and everything, do you think they played the worst, or are you going to go with someone like Kansas State or even Tennessee or Alabama played a really bad game? So who do you think played the worst over the weekend?
I want to jump and say Alabama, but I won't, just because that defense is still amazing, right? That defense is going to win them most of their games this year, unless Milroe can figure it out. But I'm going to go ahead and say that. I want to say Georgia.
Really? That's
at home against South Carolina.
That's interesting.
Against Spencer Rattler, it just feels right to say Georgia.
Yeah, it's not a bad. Me personally, I've not watched a South Carolina game, and I don't plan on it. I just peeked at their roster. They have like one good receiver, and that's it. But I wasn't sure if South Carolina is okay or if Georgia just played really bad. So,
I was watching some of that game. I just wasn't really impressed from what I saw. I can tell you right now, I don't like Carson Beck.
All right. And why? Just because playmaking.
He scrambled for a first down, and then he did some little celebration that just really rubbed me the wrong way. And so now for the rest of his career, he's on my shit list.
So he's not a lunch pail type guy, you would say?
He's not. I do not think so.
That's tough, man. Once you're not a lunch pail guy, you never come back.
No, you don't. It's over.
All right. So with that being said, and we're talking about top 10, I know I kind of mentioned Tennessee and Kansas a little bit. I really don't want to talk about them because they don't deserve mentioning, in my opinion. I had them written down. I was like, they're kind of afterthoughts. They had really bad games. They're not good. So I want to hear. Give me your. I have top 10 down here. That's a little too long. Give me your top 5. I want to see what you think college football looks like after week 4, after week 3.
Okay.
Apologies.
So we have a new number 1. You want me to start at 5 or start at 1?
Go 5. Let's keep the suspense. Let's keep the suspense right.
At number 5, we have the Ohio State University.
Okay.
At number 4, we have Florida State. I still think they're good. I that's probably going to be USC's spot after they play a team. But for now, Florida State's at 4. Texas stays still at 3. I liked what I saw in terms of their grit. It's tough to win a football game when you play like that for 3 quarters, and they buried them in the 4th quarter. So Texas is okay in my book. Now, here's where things change a little bit. Number 2 is Georgia.
Really? All right.
Mm-hmm. Number 2 is Georgia for aforementioned reasons. And number 1, because they played the best this past weekend, and they're undefeated, and their head coach is coming back soon. Michigan is number 1.
This weekend, he comes back. All right. Time. Michigan number 1. You heard it here first. You might.
How about you? Let's hear. I want to hear yours. I want to hear if there's any change in yours, any variation. I know you're a weird guy.
Compared to yours, not really. I have USC as 5 and Ohio State 4, Florida State 6. I know your external factors are big to you, but you can't. I don't care. I don't care if it's I don't care if it's anyone's Super Bowl. You can't play like that against one of the worst teams in your conference. So I would go Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Texas 3, and we agree on Texas 3. Then Ohio State 4, USC 5. I know you don't like they haven't played anyone, but really no one's played anyone except Texas and Florida State did beat LSU. But LSU shouldn't have been ranked 5 to start the year. Let's be honest. So, and SEC teams looking just way overrated. And that's why Texas is probably going to be ranked 1 next year to start the season, if we're being honest. They're going to start off in the SEC, ranked 1 nationally, because I don't think Georgia's winning the national championship game. Arch Manning, exactly. Texas is going to be the most overrated team in football next year. They might be at the end, by mid-year, they might be the most overrated team in football. So, who knows? It's the Texas curse, man.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. I'll be very interested to see how the Texas quarterback room shakes out over the next 6 months to a year.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, we have some games and teams and stories to watch in football, and then we're gonna move over from NCAA to NFL. First, I want to talk about. Well, actually, we're not going to really talk about it very much. I don't want your predictions. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Who do you got? It's in South Bend. Who do you got?
I like Notre Dame.
Really?
I do. I like Notre Dame at home. I think Sam Hartman is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I mean, he's older than everybody, but he's also better than everybody. And I think Notre Dame is just a solid team. I really love their coaching staff, and I just like them from head to toe. They're not the best team in the nation. They're not going to be in the playoff, but I like them for a New Year's Six Bowl. I like them winning this game. I think Ohio State will bounce back, but give me the Irish.
All right. I do like Sam Hartman. They also have who's their running back? It's like Estime. I don't know how to say his name. He's pretty solid. I think Ohio State by the spread, but we'll have to agree to disagree there. I do like your analysis of the game. If Notre Dame does beat Ohio State, are they top 5 team?
What are they ranked right now? 9?
They're 9. They're ranked 9. So some other things would probably have to happen.
Yeah, they would need some help, but I think that would at least move them into the top 7, maybe the top 6.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, so that'll be a fun game to watch. A lot of good games this week. We also have Ole Miss, Alabama. Personally, I think Alabama's gonna kick the tar out of Ole Miss. I'm not on the Ole Miss hype train, but I know you also differ on this one as well.
Well, I'm not on the Ole Miss hype train, but I am on the Kiffin train. I love baby Kiff. But that being said, Milrose should have never been benched. I know that there are some conspiracies out there about that, but regardless, I think Alabama's going to win. I don't think Lane Kiffin's going to get his coveted win over Nick Saban, and I'm still not buying into the Alabama is over, the Alabama dynasty's dead narrative. That's not true. It's just not true.
That's fair, and I don't think it's over, but it's kind of like what we're seeing with what we saw with the Spurs dynasty, how it's a slow fade and then into oblivion. But we'll see. I brought a little basketball into it. Apologies. That's how I can relate things. Next on the slate, we have Colorado and Oregon. Colorado does not have Travis Hunter, but is that really a needle mover?
Yeah, it absolutely is. Now, by needle mover, do you mean that Oregon's going to win by 20 instead of 10?
Yeah. Pretty. I mean,
then yeah.
Like, I wouldn't call it a needle mover simply just because with Travis Hunter, Oregon was favored by 10 probably, and without Travis Hunter, Oregon's favored by 20. So
yeah, I think Oregon was going to win either way.
Yeah, I do like Sanders. I think Colorado has a better offense, but Colorado's defense is just not going to contain Oregon. I personally think Bo Nix will probably have a Heisman type game, even though he's not going to be in the Heisman conversation. He will have a Heisman type game against Colorado's defense. So,
I mean, he always has one a year. He always has one Heisman performance a year where he gets some people talking, exactly. And then he goes back to the Bo Nix we all know. But yeah, I love Dion. I love what's going on in Colorado. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun to watch. Their football team is so much fun to watch. But
oh, definitely.
I still think they're a year or two away from being serious players. And that's fine.
I completely agree. Yeah. All right, I got two more that I really want to talk about, and then a third one which you don't want to talk about, and I think you already know what I'm going to talk about. But before I get to that, we have OU versus Cincinnati. It's Oklahoma's last Big 12 opener, and it's Cincinnati's first Big 12 opener. OU's favored by 14.5. They have looked pretty good this season. Do you think Cincinnati has a shot?
No, Cincinnati's finishing second to last in the conference.
Yeah, you're not on the Cincinnati train?
No, absolutely not. No. That's a big no for me.
So that settles that. There's really no more further discussion. And what Ryan says, Ryan goes. So we also, another Florida State trap game. I like to call these trap games because I don't think Clemson's a lick of good. Florida State's only favored by 2. I think Florida State comes back pretty strong. I think Boston College woke them up, and I think Clemson's in for a long, long Saturday.
I'm with you. I like Florida State in that. I think Clemson is bad. I think that they're dealing with the same situation as Oklahoma State, and that situation is adapt or die. You're not using the transfer portal. I don't know what the NIL situation is, but you're setting yourself at a disadvantage, and you can only still be good in the old way for so long before it finally catches up to you. And I think we're finally seeing it catch up to Clemson. And Cade Klubnik, I have yet to see it from him. I have yet to see what his predecessors had. And there's a lot of question marks on that team. And I think that there's a lot of question marks from the team, the fan base, everyone about Dabo Swinney's, if he should be still sitting in that chair.
Yep, Clemson fans got a lot to think about as they head into this weekend, and for the rest of the season, really. Because I agree, Clemson just doesn't look good. I don't think Dabo's as good as a coach as everyone thinks he is, and Florida State by a mile, personally. And so that brings us to our last college game I want to talk about. 6:30 ABC in Waco, Texas. We have the number 3 Longhorns taking on a Big 12 rival, Baylor, Texas's last Big 12 opener ever, unless something crazy happens, which is not going to happen. So Ryan pretty much thinks Texas is safe. I don't think Texas is safe, Ryan. What makes you think Texas is safe?
Have you seen that offense? Have you seen that defensive secondary? Look, Texas is going to turn it around for the same exact reason that you like Florida State against Clemson. I like Texas against Baylor. Because listen, Sark's going to light a fire under them. All right, they're motivated. They want to make a statement. They want to move up to number 3. They want to move up to number 2. That's where their head's at. And Quinn Ewers knows he needs to play better. And I think he will. And Long Island University was torching that secondary. What do you think, true. Xavier Worthy? What do you think? What do you think? AD Mitchell, Quinn Ewers, all those guys. What do you think they're going to do? Come on. And then I think that Texas defense, that front line, those blitzes, it's going to destroy. What's their quarterback's name? Sawyer.
I don't even know. Some nobody.
It's Sawyer
honestly.
something. It doesn't matter who it is. Blake Shapen sucks too, so it's fine. Give me
Sawyer
Texas
Robertson.
by at least. Yeah, give me Texas by at least 3 touchdowns.
They did make it close against Utah. Is Utah just not that good?
Utah didn't. Yeah, I don't know. Utah didn't have their quarterback. They struggled at home against LIU. They lost to Texas State. I just don't see it. What I think is going to happen. I think, Dave Aranda, defensive mind. I think he's one of the great defensive coaches in the game today. I don't know what's going on over there, but I think that he's going to, have some tricks up his sleeves with the defense. I think they're going to give Texas some fits, maybe the first or second quarter, and then Texas will figure it out. And then Baylor, you got to deliver one big blow to them, and they're just going to crumble, right? They get out to it. They get out to a double-digit lead. The ball's going to get rolling, and it's over. That's what I think is going to happen. I really hope I'm not eating my words come next Tuesday, but we'll see what happens.
All right, I like that. I think that's a good analysis of the game, and overall, great analysis of the past weekend and upcoming week for college football. College football is in a great place right now. Really a lot of balance, which is something we haven't seen in a long time with the dynasties of Bama, Clemson, and Georgia. So it's good to see other dogs at top. So moving on, though, I'm starting to get back into football. I like last year and the year before, I hadn't watched very much, even though my Rams were good 2 years ago. I still didn't watch much. Rams. Fake fan, call me if you want, whatever. I do want to talk some NFL because it had a good week. It was a good week of football. A lot of sloppy play from, well, not for you. And I'm really not for me either.
Yeah.
You think about it. I mean, the Rams lost too, so don't feel like your Patriots are alone. But yeah, I mean, Ryan, how about you know what? Since you kind of brought it up, go ahead and give me your thoughts on your Patriots. Let's get it over with.
Am I allowed to say bad words?
Yeah, sure. Try not the F bombs. I can blur those out.
Oh, that's the only one I wanted to use.
Well, you can blur it out. Or I'll blur it out. I'm the editor.
Okay, that's fine. So look, here's the deal. I'm gonna keep doing it, but every night I say a prayer to Mac Jones. Because I don't know what he did to piss Belichick off. But this is year 3. He was a Pro Bowler in his first year. Last year with Matt Patricia, it wasn't so good, but that wasn't his fault. Any quarterback not named Tom Brady would have failed miserably under Matt Patricia. And Tom Brady only would have done well because he would have told Matt Patricia, some harsh things that I won't say. But here's the deal. Mac Jones is working with nothing. Who's his wide receiver 1? Is it Juju?
No.
Is it Devontae? Is it Kendrick Bourne?
It might
Devontae
be Kendrick
Parker,
Bourne, man. He is pretty good.
Yeah. And then, that's going on. And then now we have this exciting rookie named Demario Douglas, who is lightning quick. When we're playing teams like the Eagles and the Dolphins, it's really nice to have that speed. He's exciting on punts. He can, run a slant, bust it for big yardage. He's a rookie. Second game ever. The ball gets knocked out of his hands. He fumbles. They recover. He's benched for the rest of the game. He was only fielding punts the rest of the game, and that's because Marcus Jones was injured, who's the regular punt returner. And so he got entirely benched. Mac's X factor, or quickly becoming his X factor on offense, is gone. The speed, they're moving like molasses out there, right? And it wasn't an egregious fumble. It was a rookie mistake that he definitely learned from in that moment. But regardless, he has no weapons. It's just bad. That offensive line is trash. I know Trent Brown was out, but that offensive line is trash. The tackles, the guards, the only solid piece is David Andrews, the center. The defense is okay. The defense is the only thing keeping us in games. And I'm very afraid that Belichick is running an archaic system. And
he's cooked.
I think we're coming to the end of the Belichick era. I don't know if it's this year, but it's coming.
So
the Dolphins are good. The Dolphins are fast. And
they are good. Dolphins are a great team.
And we lost. Losing in that way, though, like we were chasing the whole game, but losing on an overturned call. It wasn't a first down, but it was called that on the field. Brutal.
Yeah, and it's a tough way to lose, man. But I think we need to go back and talk about how throughout time, everyone's like, oh, Tom Brady's a Bill Belichick merchant. Is Bill Belichick a Tom Brady merchant? What are your thoughts on this?
I think that they're both good, and I hope they've had fun playing.
You're just gonna withhold from answering that?
Well, if you were to ask me whether I'd have Tom Brady or Bill Belichick, I'd say Tom Brady 10 out of 10 times.
All right. I would agree with that.
I mean, I don't know. I think they were perfect for each other. I don't think that either one made the other, but I think, I don't know. I think that they had so much success because both of them were there, but Brady was the more important player.
So would you say that you're my Belichick? Am I the Brady to your Belichick?
I was going to say the other way around. I guess we'll look at the ratings on the episodes I'm in versus the ones I'm not in.
That's true. Well, the top rated episode is the first one, so you weren't in that one. So maybe I am the Brady to your Belichick. Thoughts? No? All right.
Well, we don't. Anyways, it's too small a sample size.
All right. Well, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. So moving on from our quick Patriots rant, because I love when Ryan talks about his sports teams, his mediocre sports teams, because all he's known is winning, and now all of his teams suck. So, me personally,
I don't like
it's
it.
like I don't care that my teams suck because they do. I'm just, as long as Ryan is not happy, I'm okay. And so I think that's the best part of the 2020s. So, anyways, moving on. Bengals fall to 0-2. Burrow doesn't look good. What's up with the Bengals, man?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I think the Jamar Joe Burrow duo is cooked.
Really? This early?
I mean, I don't know. I honestly, man, I have no explanation for what we're seeing in Cincinnati. Maybe it's coaching, but they're just maybe Burrow's just not nowhere near 100%. He shouldn't be playing right now. Maybe it's as simple as that. But regardless, it's not good. Joe Mixon is mid, and he's on my fantasy team.
Damn, he is. The Gamblers didn't look good this weekend, man.
No, they didn't.
Gamblers did not have a good
Not
week.
at all. No, they weren't having fun.
It's okay though. You're gonna come back next week strong. I think you play me.
I am. Do I?
Good. You're gonna get your ass kicked.
You're worse than I am.
Kyron Williams is no, bro. Wrong. Kyron Williams was my best pickup probably of the last 5 years. So I think Kyron goes for 30 and you lose again. So enjoy following this 1 and 2.
I'm playing Michael next week.
Oh, you are? Okay. So I gotta wait to
playing
kick your ass.
Aggie
Okay,
Nation.
I got you.
Yeah, I'll see you when I see
you have to win. You have to beat Aggie Nation, bro. Happy birthday
That's the plan.
to my happy birthday, Michael. Michael, happy birthday. Hope you had a great day. 23. We'll give you your 23 spankings later. Yeah. All right, moving on from that one. We already covered tough Pat's loss. Ryan is frozen on my screen. Are you good? Uh-oh. There he is. I hear him. Ryan, we lose you? Uh-oh. Guys, I guess I'm going to have to go by myself for a minute. You see, even when we have Ryan, we don't have Ryan. Isn't that crazy? I just think that's wild. He always be finding a way to skip out. So let me text him real quick, and then I will continue the show. Oh, I hear him. Hello? Something's happening. I hear him. You froze out? No, you did. All right, 1 second. I'm gonna make a cut here, and then we're gonna hop back. All right, sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back. Some latency issues, but we're gonna push through it. I honestly don't remember exactly where we were. We were talking about NFL, of course. Real quick, the Giants somehow miracle comeback from the Cardinals collapse. That was absolutely miserable watch. There's really,
that was
Brian's expression says it all. There really isn't much to talk about there. Cardinals suck. I thought the Cardinals maybe were going to prove something different. Anyways, they didn't. Barkley's out. That's tough. You know who else is out, and it really sucks, is Chubb. That was just a brutal injury. Really sucks because Cleveland was kind of finding their stride there. But,
he's done.
That's a shame, man. It was a gruesome injury, too. So prayers go out to him for recovery. Hope he's back by the start next year. I actually didn't even see. Did you see the injury report?
I don't know what he was diagnosed with. No, I haven't seen that. I know he's out for the year. I know it was basically the same injury he had at Georgia.
Yikes. So not good. So prayers go out to him. Fast recovery. Football's better when Chubb's in, so need him back quick. And then lastly, I want to talk about NFL. I mean, how about those Cowboys? I know we always joke about them every year, but they actually look legit now. And now I'm kind of terrified because I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I cannot stand the Dallas Cowboys, but they look fantastic. So what are your thoughts? What do you think the Cowboys ceiling is?
NFC Championship.
You don't think Super Bowl?
14-3? No, I don't, because we have yet to see if Dak can be that quarterback. That defense is terrifying. I fear that defense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's still the Cowboys. I can't help but feel like something's going to happen. Dak's knee is going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
You know? Like, something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, I honestly think Dak's holding him back. And so any quarterback might be an upgrade from Dak, if we're being honest here.
I mean, if they play like they have,
who knows?
They'll be fine. Did I lose you again?
Great. Bro, this fucking shit, dude. You're cutting in and out, man. We are almost done.
There he is.
There you are. All right, so once again, goodness, we need to get through this quick because we have internet problems clearly. All right. Ryan, I did not catch what you said on the end of the Cowboys. I'm sure it was great as always. Cowboys look good. We're gonna move on quickly because I have a few more things to cover, and then we're done. All right. You know what? I gotta blur that out. I'm not talking about the NBA. This is a football only podcast. We can talk about the NBA next week. I will save those notes for next week. Next week on the show, we will talk about the Redeem Team, the 2024 Olympic Redeem Team. That's something to look forward to. We're also going to talk about how the media is starting to backtrack on Victor Wembanyama. And what I mean by that, you will find out when you tap into the episode next week. So, Ryan, please close us out as we continue to suffer through our internet problems and in hopes to now play NBA 2K for about a few hours before I edit this video. Ryan, go ahead.
It's exciting. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into this week's episode of the Thank You Bro podcast. I have finally returned after a long hiatus, and it feels good to be back. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you made it this far, interact with us. Send us questions. We might answer them. But for now, that's all. Thank you from Will and myself. We'll see you next week, next Wednesday. And we might talk basketball, but you won't know unless you're there.
Tune in. So, with that being said, do I hear what? I didn't hear anything. Anyways, I've been your host, Will Glover, along with my other... We're not co-hosts. We're both hosts. We're both main hosts, all right? Let's get rid of the co-host thing, all right? Our host, your host, Will Glover, Ryan Galloway. Thank you, bro, podcast. Make sure to follow us on all the socials. Once again, we're going to record Tuesdays, upload Wednesdays. That's the hope. And make sure you follow us on our socials, like I said. And with that being said, y'all have a great Wednesday. And make sure you do well in your studies. Ryan's already on his phone checked out. And so that is all. We'll see y'all next time. Thank you.